Hello, I am the Ronin Pawn, and this is NationStates. I'll be your dictator today. We'll be flying at 30,000 feet. If you look to your left, you'll see the rogue nation of Pawtucky. It's corrupt, but in the best way. Pawtucky is ranked 7th in Pennsylvania for most authoritarian, with 1.32 Stalins. We need to work on that. We need to be more Stalinish. Let's jump straight to the issues. I see that a lot of you are telegramming me, and I thank you. Thank you so much. I don't have time. I'm just Oh! There's a whole new thing here! There's a whole new interface instead of just being text now! Terrorists strike city center? Jesus hell, all of Pawtucky has been in an uproar since yesterday when a car exploded in the middle of Slushfundia. I may have named the capital city without you guys. Killing dozens and injuring hundreds. This terrorist act was traced back to a violent minority group known as the Lilliputian Freedom Fighters. Oh, we have dealt with them before. A group allegedly supported by an unfriendly regime, despising Pawtucky for its heathenish ways and political bent, but more particularly for supporting the recent occupation of their homeland by an ally. Oh, did we do something? I need to go back and watch my episodes, I don't remember. They simply crossed the line, shouts General Pete Jackman. Far too long have we tolerated these terrorist threats. It's time that they realize they can't mess with us. Send the order to prepare an invasion. We will show them who is boss. Our brave soldiers are prepared to die for their country. All we need is your signature and a lot of money to order today. But what is the cost of freedom and safety for Pawtucky's peoples? Invade! Invade! Attacking another country isn't the answer, says Victoria Pound, director of the Pawtuckian Intelligence Agency. Ooh, the PIA? The problem doesn't lie abroad, but within Pawtucky itself. We should have more freedom to do our work. Protecting our nation from these cowardly scaremongers would be much easier if, say, we had an inherent right to tap phones and other communications, get search warrants whenever we need, and detain suspects indefinitely. Remember, to prevent is better than to cure. Pretty sure, that's exactly how it works in America. No. That's what those terrorists want us to do, speculates chairperson Chloe Wickwire of the Patriots Tea and Biscuits Club. We don't want to give the agency any more responsibility. They're the ones who messed up in the first place. What we need is to purge Pawtucky of these rats who don't expect or respect the laws and traditions of our way of life. We know who they are and where they come from, so the solution is obvious. We won't let those sorts of people cross our borders, and we'll kick out those who are already here. Might seem a bit harsh, but hey, we were here first. Long live Pawtucky. Yeah. I think it's clear to anyone with half a brain in their head that this will just not work, says Harambe Doi, a noted professor of social studies. The people who perpetrate these terrible crimes do so because they feel they have no other recourse to demonstrate their political opinions. Hi, Trump. They'll do anything, and I'm sure they're not above hiring mercenaries. You must understand why terrorists act as they do and fix that. What we should do is reach out to the ethnic and religious minorities and seek common ground. Negotiation is key. Violence solves nothing. Okay, well, you lost me there. We spit on Pawtucky. Expectorates. Expectorates? Is that a word? Mary Lee, who's got a thick thesaurus, leader of the Lilliputian Freedom Fighters. You disrespect our people and our country and everything we are. You spread your sickening influence where it is not wanted. You must change your ways and cease to oppress us, or else there will be more bloodshed. You have been warned. Step into the squared circle and I'll break your back like a Slim Jim, buddy. Pardon me, is terrorism really such a terrible thing? I mean, really? Asked Stan Shear, avant-garde journalist, discreetly sliding a pipe bomb under your desk. These people are simply expressing their political opinion the best way they know how. I think we should legalize terrorism as a legitimate form of political commentary. It'll certainly get people interested, don't you think? Oh yes, I'm sure you could sell a number of papers after people find out that, pipe bomb exploded in the dictator's office. Get the hell out of my office! Alright, so here's where I stand on this. Having lived through the George W. Bush administration and having lived through the September 11th attacks and seen what the world was like before them and what the world was like after them, and seeing all the things that were being justified by that administration in terms of just throwing out the ideals that the nation was founded on, I understand where terrorists are coming from, and I understand where they come from on the ground. And where they come from is young, hot-blooded people like I was, who look out at the world and see no hope whatsoever, and who, more so, have already lost everything that matters to them. I didn't turn into a terrorist. I could have. You know why I didn't turn into a terrorist? I still had my family. I still had my friends. I still had a life that I could pursue. These young people are being manipulated by aged clerics who basically are just old bastards who have their own agenda, just like all of the politicians in our government. And they're manipulating these young people who have nothing, who have lost everyone that they care about, who have lost everything that they care about, and who have basically no future in front of them. Then somebody walks up and says, hey, seeing as you have nothing to live for, how do you feel about vengeance? So honestly, I hold very little ill will toward those young men who become the foot soldiers in a war that doesn't need to exist, because they're just being manipulated at their weakest moment as a human being, when what they need is someone to step in and say, there still is a life here for you, and you've lost a lot, but there is a path forward that doesn't involve ensuring that other people will lose as much as you have. I believe that there is a time for violence, because I believe in things that are worth defending. If there was nothing worth defending, then we'd never have to fight. But sometimes you do have to fight. And it's not for a patch of ground, and it's not even for an individual. It's for futures. It's for the futures of generations who will come after us. It's for the ideals that we have built. So I believe in violence. And considering where we stand right now and what we're looking forward to in America over the course of the next 4 years, it may be closer than we'd all like to think. But the young men who have been manipulated at precisely the moment that they were backed into a corner and needed someone to reach out to them, they're not to blame. So we're going to reach out to them in Pawtucket. The government seeks peaceful forum with terrorists. Indeed we do. Pawtucket's political freedoms rose from rare to few. Okay, I'm getting kind of serious, so I actually don't mind that. Let's take it down a notch. State schools shine in latest rankings for 8th years most diseases. Study shows group returning home from natural disaster struck by second natural disaster. Jeez. Pawtuckian parents concerned about youth employment. And postcards from Pawtucket, we've gone window shopping. We've developed a cultured nation of at least 80 million with good civil rights. And we do negotiate with terrorists. Not with the guys who send them. The guys who send them are why we have the CIA. Streaker in snooker game fiasco. Oh, thank you for only 2 options on this. Last one had like 7 options. Took me an hour and a half just to read it. After a 60-year-old man with psoriasis streaked past cameras and millions of sports fans during the Snooker League playoffs, protesters have called for tougher action. This can't go on, says traumatized snooker player Erica Krostovsky. Children are watching sports, and having them exposed to this lewd behavior is unacceptable. I know, are you kidding me? Did you hear what that YouTuber said on an episode of NationStates? I demand that these people be locked up for several years, and maybe they'll have learned their lesson. We lock up a streaker? No. Come on, it's nudity, baby. Let's do it. Oh, don't be ridiculous, scoffs prolific streaker Judas Ross. It's all just a bit of fun, and the kids shouldn't be wrapped in cotton wool, or they'll learn nothing. Sports are so dull anyway, and needs little bare skin to liven it up. Streaking should be legal. Legalize the streaking in Pawtucket. Streakers swamp all public events in order to bear it all. Don't we, though? Sunscreen sales grow. Civil rights activists, now we're getting somewhere. Newspaper readers demand more complex crosswords. Pawtucket, more chill than ever before. And oh, hello, we've gotten cheeky. Yes, we have. We were cheeky before. We just didn't do it in public, though. Modern style develop clever citizens. My citizens conceive of a complex world in which, people are driven to acts of terrorism, and yet that does not stop us from running through the streets naked! Oh, I feel the return of the house mouse coming on. Animal Liberation Front strikes again. The increasingly militant Animal Liberation Front struck again last night, freeing dozens of chickens bound for delicious snack packs. Are they making chickens into pudding now? These nuts have to be stopped. No, it's not nuts, it's chickens. Demands concerned consumer Beavis Nagin. They need to face the fact people want snack packs, no matter how many innocent chickens must be turned to pudding. Besides, chickens would do the same to us if they had the chance. Damn the chickens, I'll accept it on the premise. These liberationists are highlighting an important issue, pleads Fumiko Tolkien. Too often animals are put through needless cruelty just to make their flesh taste a little more deliciously succulent. I'm sure we could ban the more horrific abuses without putting too much of a dent in our national obesity figures, couldn't we? I mean, I'm carrying about 7 pounds I need to lose. Animals have feelings too, yells protester Lance Chu before being set upon by hungry passersby. Free the animals, ban meat eating, and stop chewing on my leg! Economist Rory Jima has an alternative. You don't need to take away the people's right to choose. You just need to build the costs of animal suffering into the price. A tax on meat eating in proportion to the amount of cruelty involved would do the trick. Plus, think of the benefit for the national coffers. Of course, poor people wouldn't be able to afford meat, but that's just more incentive for them to get jobs. It's more incentive for them to get healthy. Eating meat as an occasional thing, hey, you want to splurge and get some meat? Are you kidding me? With all the sin taxes that we've got on liquor and tobacco, and, as soon as they legalize marijuana, we're going to have one there. Yes, this makes sense to me. A little bit of a tax, a state tax to raise the cost of meat. People eat it less, but it's still available to them. Absolutely. Sin tax meat. Meat is a luxury afforded only to the wealthy. Fine, we're all healthier. The wealthy are gonna die and impact their bowels, and the poor will inherit the earth. I'm the Ronan Pawn. Economics, not everything government says. Being able to read, not important for YouTuber, apparently. Trout farming, how to get started. Tourism industry, braces for influx. Everyone wants to come and eat salads, apparently, in Kentucky. It's a good day. Excuse me? Nudity is down, cheeks per square mile. Well, apparently I need to lose the pants. This is what we tuned in for. This is what we were expecting on the Ronan Pawn channel, right? Oh, I'm going to put you aside, Empire Strikes First. It's time for a colonoscopy. Oh no, a colonioscopy. Okay, no, I want a colonoscopy. The problems in Brazilistan were mounting daily. So when push came to shove, an advisor told you to just take it over. And you did. Yes, I did. We have invaded, we've not only invaded, but we are colonizing Brazilistan after having, bombed it into a parking lot and then assassinated their leaders. We did it in the most precise way that you can. If you're going to war, go to war. Violence is a solution. The dust has settled, and somehow Kentucky is now the proud owner of a new colony. There are still some teething issues, however, and there are some cultural and societal conflicts between settlers and native peoples. It's up to you on how best to resolve these issues. Well, obviously, we need to remove the settlers, Daisy Scrooge, chairperson of the Kentucky Council of Immigration Studies, says frankly. And then burps. Pulling out completely and leaving the remaining populace to their own devices, however, would be detrimental and irresponsible. Ideally, what needs to be done is to make Brazilistan a full part of Kentucky and give the remaining Brazilistanis full citizenship. We'd all be part of the same country, with the same citizenship, and the same rights and responsibilities. Now, I like that, but it's a very flowery version of the world, okay? Because we did just bomb the hell out of a lot of people, and, the remaining people, they have lost people, and, I'm friendly to terrorists, but I don't know if we're just gonna, come on in, just come, here's a visa. Whoa, hold on there, that's way too drastic and way too fast. Your Interior Minister, Chuck, see, that's what I'm getting at, is not so much it's the wrong thing, but maybe just give it a year or two. That's not going to solve the issues they're facing today over there right now. We need to come up with some sort of initiative that slowly integrates the Brazilistanis into our culture. You should appoint panels of arbiters consisting of international experts to broker agreements between settlers and natives where necessary too. It'll work, definitely, probably. I mean, that's all you're gonna get. That's the best you could get, is a definitely, probably, after you bomb a nation and then colonize it. It's our land now, your energy advisor says quietly. That wasn't quietly.
It's ours. Our own. Our precious. Where was I? Oh yes, Brazilistan. Look, there's not many Brazilistani left. Let's just give them the useless pockets of land, like those on mountain slopes or in bogland. All oil-rich and arable lands can be kept for ourselves. Sure, it'll be a little like segregation, but at least everyone will be happy, right?
Yeah, except the Brazilistanis. Get back in the hole. what was his name? Schmeigel. All these options are valid, to be sure, but I have an easier way of settling this. Hugh Baldwin, head of the nation's nuclear program, says in a matter-of-fact tone, we have not had one issue around Brazilistan that has not involved someone saying, nuke 'em. Can we please just nuke the place? Get our own guys out first, obviously, but then just nuke it. We don't need a colony, but we do need a nuclear testing site. Our own citizens here are getting annoyed we're destroying good land in Pawtucket when there's a perfectly good dump in the form of Brazilistan. Nuke 'em. Yes, slow integration over the course of time makes the most sense, given that, there was a war yesterday. Brazilistanis face layers of paperwork in a different language just to visit a doctor. Okay, well, that wasn't exactly my plan, but I mean slow integration. Race row after child ejected from school. Old ladies report surfeits of help crossing busy roads. I can't. The Slushfundia post is just, it's way above my head. I need something more, in the dentist's office and coloring books. And finally, the Empire strikes first. Reports indicate that several neighboring nations are engaged in a major weapons program in contravention of international law and treaty, focusing public discourse on Pawtucket's foreign policy, specifically its position on preemptive strikes. Oh, I already stepped in the poo once this episode. We need to respond to these terrorist scumbags. Here we go again. Broa's General Louis Mattei, turning a slightly alarming shade of purple. Oh, I know that guy, actually. I've seen him. Apparently, President Trump considers him a great friend.
Hillary and Obama want to make you poor and pathetic. We have all their white papers. They hate you. They hate prosperity. They hate God. They hate children. And goddamn them to hell.
I'm not even kidding. This is where the President of the United States of America goes for his information. This guy. Yeah. Violence is sometimes necessary. I say we announce any illegal weapons program will be treated as an act of war. The risk of harsh turning into an endless conflict that mires our troops in far-off land for years at a time is a small price to pay for national security. If you don't act now, these foreigners will think they can push us around forever. They must be taught a lesson for the good of the rogue nation, Mr. President. Diplomatic bureaucrat Sayed Smithers remarks calmly, "There's no need to go off half-cocked, you freaking psycho lunatic. It would be much better if we used an appropriate international body, the World Assembly, say, or a Pennsylvania tribunal, to investigate these rumors objectively for us. That way, we don't just run into Iraq on drummed-up claims that don't make any sense and attack the wrong country about something that isn't even a problem." Oh, no, that way we have the international community on our side, and no one will accuse us of playing judge and a jury. It will be well worth the extra diplomatic costs and bureaucratic red tape. Well, I've just put a lot of red tape in apparently visiting the doctor in, what was the name of that nation again? It's a colony, it's Puerto Rico? If these countries don't respect international law, why would they respect international agencies, wonders political analyst Alexei Bonaparte. Our neighbors are acquiring these weapons for a reason. No one wants to pick a fight with a country that has weapons of mass destruction. The solution is simple. If we have WMDs of our own, they won't dare to strike at us. It may seem mad, but in this crazy world, it's the sanest thing to do. Yes, a good Cold War. That's always worked out in the long run. Noted pacifist and tambourine artist Ella Hammarskjöld replies, "As usual, our nation's proud leaders can only see violent solutions to our problems abroad. Wouldn't it be refreshing if they focused on achieving peace through communication and accommodation rather than force of arms? You may call me a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Someday you will join us and the world will live as one." Yeah, nuke 'em. Where's the nuke 'em? It would be nice to have weapons of mass destruction of our own, because I'm responsible, I'm the dictator, I can control myself. As is evident by this series. Probably let's go with the World Assembly, I think. The government has declared its commitment to multilateralism. Is that, like, a sexual identity now? Queuing citizens praise departmental fairness. Incomes rising, economist says. International observers applaud rising political freedom in Pawtucket, and tourism industry continues bracing for influx. When doesn't it? I am the rodent bald, and this is Pawtucket, and this is NationStates. And yes, sometimes it is necessary to stand up, lock and load, take your shirt off, run through the streets naked. And Trump is driving me here. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show nipples on YouTube anymore. Pawn out!